Hey everybody, Kat here. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. It is early Saturday morning here, and I'm sitting outside because soon it's going to be too hot to be able to do it. It has been real hot and muggy here in southern Ontario recently, and there's no let up again for a couple of days. But beside that, what I want to talk about today, of course, is Harry and Meghan. They've been big news as of late. Meghan, she's been very active online. Harry, well, it's just been a crazy train. And here the other day, he missed an appearance at, I believe it was Wellchild in New York, which just brought on such activity online. I mean, we had the articles about Harry and an overdose. Well, sure, little clickbaity. It happened. Wasn't necessarily recent. We don't know when it was. And, so when he missed this event, it was like some online people had him, OD'd in a back alley somewhere. Right? Who knows? And then, after missing that, he pops up at the Nexus Global Summit in New York. There was, hundreds there, and he gave, a rambling speech full of misinformation on climate change and online harms, and his usual mantra. In the course of this speech, he claimed that Meghan was the most trolled person in 2018. Not true. The supposed trolling really was her planting stories, and we've seen that behavior from her all along. She's still doing it. And people were saying, well, Harry sounded pretty awful, it didn't look really good, and maybe he was not in the best of shape at the Nexus Summit. And that could well be true. We know Harry's history. We know what he does. And as far as the speech goes, well, Harry knows this speech by heart now. It's all the same talking points that he's been spouting for years, so he can rattle that off no matter what kind of shape he's in, right? In my opinion. But then now I'm going to set that down. There's been a lot of rumors lately that that there's been a true split. There are some of us that believe they haven't lived together in a very long time, and some are claiming now that it's a split. Meghan has thrown Harry out, and that seems to be getting legs. So that's what I want to kind of look at. What are the implications if this is true? Because everybody's talked about for a long time, well, we know why Meghan wants the titles. That gives her a tie to the royal family and some perks and protection anyway, and she's looking for big cash. We know that. And she thinks in a lot of ways she's got a lot of things over on the royal family. She really believes she's got some leverage. Hang on a second. Grab my coffee. She really does think she's in a particular position, right? I beg to differ. Here's the thing. No matter what a mess he's made of his life, no matter what he's done to the members of his family and the institution, no matter how foolish he's behaved and how foolish he looks now, when it comes down to Harry and Meghan, the royal family will always side with Harry because he's the royal. And blood means something to them. Even though he's a traitor, in my opinion, he's a royal. If a split is happening, you can bet, because it'll be in the royal family will get involved. At least their advisors and lawyers will, because it'll be in their best interest, because we know Meghan is going to try to go after millions. I wouldn't be surprised if she asks for $1 billion. You know, she'll start high, but yeah. But she's gonna want money and titles and all of it, right? Harry and his lawyers, whatever, it's just not enough. And so I really do think if there indeed is a split, and I mean, I've talked before, if it comes to this, and no matter what happens in the future here, there is going to be some kind of a financial settlement made, whether Harry and Meghan stay together and just get fully split from the royal family and disenfranchised from the royal family completely. There would have to be a settlement, in my opinion. And if Meghan, if they're splitting up and Meghan's going after some money, yeah, it's in the royal family's best interest to get involved to protect not only Harry to some degree, but to protect themselves and their own money. You know, they do not want Meghan to get the upper hand on anything, right? So I don't think she's in such as a good position as she thinks she is. And one interesting development that I think we're going to see, we're already starting to see it to some degree. The press is loosening up a little bit. They're starting talking about things that they would never talk about a year ago. Things they'd never bring up a year ago. So as things go forward, I think we're going to see more revelation from the press about things perhaps that we've maybe thought we've known all along, or we've had a good idea about all along. And then I think some stuff will start coming out to kind of validate those things. Very much the same way. I think we're going to see the same kind of, and it's press palace management, really, is what it comes down to. You saw the same thing in 1992. After it was obvious that Diana and Charles just couldn't function. After that trip to Korea, the pictures were just terrible. Everybody knew from that moment on. The press started publishing things that they'd been holding on to for up to 3 years. The Squidgy tapes, the Camilla tapes, all kinds of things. And then Charles wrote his book and did his interview with Dimbleby and outed himself as an adulterer, and the gloves were off. And the talk got pretty tawdry there for a while, because it was pretty tawdry. And I think we're going to see the same thing. I think we're heading into the same direction with Harry and Meghan. I think the press is going to start loosening up, and that may be because the palace says we've had enough. You can go ahead. You can talk about maybe they can't talk about everything. But I think a lot of what we've thought all along is slowly going to be dripped out, and we're going to start seeing things in the press. At the very least, see the openers, see them asking questions about things and saying, well, why is this happening? You know, it's starting to happen a little bit, you know? These rumors that maybe Meghan wasn't pregnant after the twerking video, right, was obviously stuffed with pillows. The press is starting to say, wow, what about these rumors that she never was pregnant? This is a thing. Like they've heard it for the first time. You're seeing that kind of stuff in print now. So like I've said before, we're getting close to that point where the floodgates are going to open. And once that happens, what leverage Meghan thinks she has now is going to be very diminished. So it's going to get interesting because desperate people do desperate things. I think we're in for a pretty hot summer. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'd like to know what you're thinking about all of this. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.